And lo and behold, before us, we see the Roman general hidden within the trees. And guess what? We're going straight for him, boys. Let's get on in there. So we got some legionary cavalry here and the Roman general's bodyguard being swarmed by Aravaki cavalry. And this, as you can see, is none other than Rome Total War 2. Luckily for Rome, his general able to get out at the sacrifice of 2 units here. 1 cavalry unit and a levy unit. But by the way, hi everyone, Ellington here, and we are on the settlement of Carthage, Carthago if you will, and this is a 4v4 sent in by the one and only Dairy Farmer. Alright, so if anybody, watches this, my channel very much, you probably know who Dairy Farmer is. And come on, y'all want to know who Dairy is playing? Let's be honest. If you know who Dairy Farmer is, and you've seen enough Dairy Farmer videos, you know that Aravaki is Dairy Farmer. Dairy Farmer's out here being an absolute nuisance right now. You can see, look at all this stuff that's come over here now. And the Legionary Cav survived. I don't know how, but somehow, some way. We've got Citizen Cav, we've got Light Horse, a 2 Chevron Light Horse, and then we have some more Citizen Cavalry coming over. Aravaki is coming out with way more than just that. He's got a lot of Iberian Cavalry that we've already seen work, but you can see we also have Iberian Swords, we've got Scutari, we've got Iberian Spearmen, 2 Chevrons on those too. And it looks like the attackers want to play. Real quick, let's get into some more factions. So, for the attackers, we've got Arverni being commanded by Goblin. We've got Epirus being commanded by Elemelans. We've got Rome being commanded by Tamraval, I think is how you say it. And then, finally, what are we missing? Macedon being commanded by Game Boys. Aravaki for the defenders, like I said, a Dairy Farmer himself. We've got Carthage being commanded by Joe 231. We've got Syracuse being commanded by the Brit. And we've got Seleucid being commanded by Eye Exams. Now, this is kind of an interesting setup, right? So, where do factions like Aravaki or their twin Lusitani, where do they struggle, right? They struggle in cities. Typically because they can't do anything about the arcing fire of archers, right? But in a land battle, things like Aravaki and Lusitani are actually really good. And that's because all of the weaknesses of Aravaki and Lusitani are basically, not all of them, don't get me wrong, not all of them, but one of the major weaknesses of Aravaki is nullified by them being in a land battle, which, as you can see, this has basically become. So, because it's a flat playing field now, it doesn't matter about archers. So look at him. He's got all of his slingers set up here. Those slingers can do just as good in this flat area as those archers would do in the city. So, now Aravaki can bring the really good infantry to play. And they can actually help, their slingers can actually do something to hold back the archers of the enemy, which, to be perfectly honest with you, look, there's nothing. The archers are nowhere to be found anywhere near this area. Emperor's coming over here with more units, Italian swords, and honestly, I don't think he should. This flank is done. It's kaput. It's just finished. What really should have happened is Rome should have just fallen back to kind of attack with the rest of the squad, right? Or he should have formed up his entire army to face this. You either do one or you do the other. You don't go halvesies in a situation like this because you're just not going to win. You know what I mean? Aravaki is fully committed to this sally out. You are not fully committed to countering it. AK, you lose. So, What that means is a lot of the early stuff from Rome is now gone. Rome still has units, don't get me wrong. He's got legionaries over here. I think he's got more stuff hidden as well. Arverni coming over here. I don't see why we throw in these kind of singular, here's like 2-3 units against a full army sally out. I wouldn't do it. I would just focus on your attack. The more you get distracted by that, the more time you waste, basically. You got to remember, if you guys all push this, then the defenders are outnumbered. You have them outnumbered 4v3 because an entire army is out here piddle-dicking around. Now, you can't just let the army do, like, you know, attack you. If they try to attack you, you defend. But if they just want to stand there, let them stand there, you know? You don't send your general in there. The Roman general sucks. Actually, so, correction. The Roman general doesn't actually suck. It's the problem that the Roman general is only 40 men. So, he sucks. Does that make sense? His stats aren't bad, but he doesn't have enough men bad. Right? Right. Good. Perfect. Armor on the Roman gen's like 90 or something like that. It's actually pretty ridiculous. Yeah, 90 armor. See? 80 health. His armor's better than his legionary's armor. You know? Just saying. Just saying. It does look... I don't think he's dead. He's extremely weak, but I don't think he's dead. Oh, did he bring Caesar? Yeah, he brought Caesar. Cool. Now what is... I forgot what the... Stop moving! I'm trying to see what his... Stop doing this. Why are we doing this? Turn around and go back. I'm trying to see what this loyalty ability does. I don't remember. You know what? I give up because he's not stopping moving. So anyways, as you can see, the pretty standard Carthaginian, Carthage attack, which is into this area here. A little bit heavier of a defense that I'm used to seeing in this general area, though. Typically, what we tend to see is a lot of this just kind of gets given up because it's extremely hard to hold. Now, one of the big downsides to what the attackers brought, they only have one fixed ballista, and that ballista is actually really more facing this direction than it is facing this direction. So the issue with that is means that the defenders can basically set up anything they want in this area with basically no repercussions for it. They do have, Rome does have a movable ballista here. We'll see if we get some shotgunning in this video. Shotgunning, if you don't know, is a big no-no, and hopefully I won't have an opportunity to give you a demonstration of what it is, because that means that he didn't do it, and he was a good player. Yeah! Everybody, right? Woo! So, as you can see, Syracuse doing a hardcore hold on this area here. I need to turn down the sound. Get blared in my ears here. Hoplites here, hardcore holding these breaches, because to be perfectly honest with you, as of right now, there's nothing punishing them for it. Typically what you would see is archers moving up to shoot into the sides of these. Vice versa over here, the same thing. Typically you would want to get this side because that's your sword side shot for the attackers, but as of right now, they aren't doing it. So these hoplites can basically just sit here and do whatever they want. Oh no! Yep, we're not getting any shotgunning. The Iberian Cav came in and wiped out the Roman ballista. Gone. Completely, totally gone. That's a lot of money, guys. That's like 1,400 gold or something like that. Thought that Iberian Cav was about to break. I was be like, seriously, dude? He is exhausted. That's honestly probably one of the big reasons for it. Hey, Macedon, move your troops up. There's no reason why you should have 4 thorax swords all the way back here. Move your army up. Think about it. You're in the middle of attack, right? But a lot of your forces are miles away from the attack, which means that you can't fully support your push. That's bad, if you didn't know. I kind of like this play. hitting the corner here, which is going to expose this defense, which exposes this defense. Same thing over here. If you pop that down, you know, now they have another place that they have to watch. But it actually looks like he dropped it and he's going for the tower instead. Interesting. I'm intrigued as to what their plan will be. I don't think they will actually push that area, but oh, it fucking glitched. Use your RD. Blow it down. Blow it up. You're 77%. Blow it up. Do it. Do the roar. Do the roar. I love you, Daddy. This is... It's going to be really, really hard for the attackers to push this breach with this coming down on them, right? So you've got a couple legionaries over here trying to hold back Aravaki, but the cavalry's still running around being a nuisance. If I was Aravaki, I would just leave my cav and let them chill for a minute. You know, they're exhausted, so give them some time to kind of recuperate. You know, you also have Carthage out here who's also pushing into this flank. So this whole flank here is not very good for the attackers to attack. Right here looks to be probably their most promising attack. If they push here, I think it'll be good. You know, it's a big, broad breach that they can really get into. So they are pushing that, and they are dropping here. Got some archers. Oh, he brought all regular archers. Oh, no. 125 range archers, Macedon. 125 range archers. No boy, no. Artillery has taken some shots. It has 8 kills. Blow down the wall. You can do it, I promise. I promise. You can do it. I didn't see, so Arverni has a Scorpion. Interesting. He's not going to have a Scorpion for very long, though. He's probably going to get a couple kills on the cavalry. 40 kills, it's not bad, but here comes death. Oh, is he going to break it? Oh, that's funny. He's lost 8 men. I would be really disappointed if he loses that. Come on, Iberian Cavalry. 43 base morale. You can hold up to take down this. Now the general might beat you. So he did pop his second ability, so presence. It just gives the cooldown rate difference, and so it didn't really change much. Ah, here comes the rest of Rome. Once again, hiding. I don't really know why. I don't know why people do that. I'm really not a fan. You know, it's kind of like what Macedon's doing with all of his troops back here. There's really 100% no reason as to why four Thorax swords should be sitting all the way at the back of the map right now. None. Zero reasons, zero excuses. I don't care. There's no excuse for those being back there. There's no excuse for the Roman legionaries for being hiding over here. You know, that's why Aravaki here has been ripping you to shreds. Because you've been throwing your troops in piecemeal. Like, you know, here's a little bit, here's a little bit, here's a little bit. The only way you beat that kind of sally out is full force, go at them. You know what I mean? Or, like I said earlier, just ignore them. They can't beat all 4 of your armies by themselves. So let them sit there and be annoying. Focus on your attack. They've been splitting their attention. It's been really, really hurting them. They do seem to be making progress in the place that I think was their best spot. So they have basically They have basically broken through the breach that I thought they would get through. But there's a lot of Carthage here. And Syracuse is still holding here. I do think what we're probably going to see soon, though, is probably a fallback from Syracuse. Or he's a champ and holds out to the very last man. Fight to the last man. Defend your city. This is your city, not ours. You're paying us to be here. Well, we're Carthaginians and we're very rich, so if you want money, kill them. I don't know why the Carthaginian general all of a sudden sounds like a 1940s, you know, mover voiceover. Isn't that what they called him back in the day? It was a mover or something like that, and then it turned into I think they started calling it the movers, and then they changed it to movies. And that's where we get the terminology movies. Hey, Syracuse falling back, but it does look like he's going to fall back to a hard line here. Problem with that is right there. See that little white line? That's the control circle of the tower. And because Syracuse is no longer defending that or challenging it, it means that that tower is going to completely become the attackers, and it's going to basically just start going pew, 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 pew. And it's really painful. Here comes a bunch of Carthaginian hoplites. It's an interesting Carthage army. I haven't seen people play a Carthage army like this in a really long time. Ervaki's still being an absolute nuisance. He is whittling down, right? He doesn't have near the troops that he had originally, but he has done a real impact on the attackers. 74 kills on the Scorpion, by the way. And here they go, more piecemeal stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, they should have been committing these units way sooner when they could really, like, fully come in and overpower Ervaki. And I think they are really regretting not doing that. And Ervaki being really smart. Look at the curvature of the line, right? Curvature of the line here creates back shots for these slingers over here. Same thing over here. The slingers here can shoot that way. By having a straight line, the slingers can't really do that, you know what I mean? By having the curved line, it exposes the back and the edges of these units over here. So like that Oathsworn is, you know, taking way more losses than it should. 221 kills on the Oathsworn, though. Iberian Cap finally dealt with. Finally. Mastodon has broken down the walls but has not gone in, and I think that is the correct call. I think Mastodon tries to go into these breaches. I don't like this part. He has put units on the walls, but either way, it's a death trap. He's going to be overpowered. He's outnumbered, and the defenders have the advantage in the defensive position. And he still has 4 Thorax Swords standing all the way at the back of the map doing absolutely nothing, which is also contributing to why Mastodon will not win that flank. I'm calling it right now. I will tell you 100% Mastodon loses this. Now, where does that leave the attackers? In a really shit position, right? Because Rome got shit on. Macedon is going to get shit on. He hasn't quite got shit on yet, and he hasn't because he hasn't gone in. Not really. He's kind of gone in, but, like, not gone in, and that's basically why he's losing. Really, the only people who have been really putting in a concerted effort into this attack have been Arverni and Epirus, and they've been doing relatively well given the fact that they're the only 2 pushing into this area. They have made good progress for that fact. Now, getting through the combination of the Carthaginian hoplites and the Libyan infantry is going to be a bit of a different issue. That's a lot of armor, and they have a good defensive position. But once again, they are getting shot by the tower. They are getting now shot by Cretan archers. So it's going to be a bit tough. The Syracuse hoplites here, they're holding. They're doing well. We got Thorough Spears coming in and Royal Peltis. So right here, this is the bust through point. Royal Peltis are going to eat right through these hoplites. That is going to allow this, and it's going to allow this. So they are making progress. They have neutralized the tower. Once again, very good. Ervaki over here. Just, I would be so frustrated. This is painful. It hurts. Bunch of Celtic slingers, or I guess not a bunch. Looks like he went 3 and 1? Or 2 and 2? 2 and 2. He went 2 slingers, 2 Gallic hunters. Shooting the Iberian Slingers, 163 kills. The Velites are actually in combat, and now they're switching out for some Legionaries. So as you can see, Aravaki is whittling down. He's pretty much basically on his last leg, but he has done a lot of damage in manpower, and he has done a lot of damage in wasted time. The attackers have wasted a lot of time and a lot of attention on Aravaki, and in the end, that is just as valuable as kills. Maybe almost as valuable as kills. Now as Macedon sits here, just standing there, he's just dying. That tower just killing him left and right. 113 men out of 160, and I bet you at least most of that is from the tower. What's it? You nearly had my head! Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, but you got a big head, man. I mean, what am I supposed to do when your head's just always in the way? Just getting some shots here of the fighting. We got Arverni on one side versus Carthage on the other. Then you can see Epirus with the orange and green.
Yeah, man! Yes! Get out of our way!
As you can see, Carthage is whittling down at this point in this area, and so far I don't see much plans to reinforce it. You know, they could still. It's one of those things that if they're going to give us up, then they have to give that up. If they're going to give this up, then they have to give this up. So it's kind of a decision that they have to make. If they're going to hold one, they have to hold the other. So how important is it to hold that area? And the Gen Snipe is on. Not really much of a Gen Snipe. He was sitting right behind the, the battle line here. So I don't personally find that as Gen Snipe, but it still hurts a lot. The General for Carthage is dead. They should be relatively okay. Majority of their units are disciplined, so it shouldn't be too big of an impact. You can see Carthage on the right now falling back from the breaches here. And the main reason for that is Aravaki is finally and totally finished here, which means that the attackers can now put that pressure on the back side of this defense, so they are going to fall back. So that means that they're also probably going to need to fall back here and then here. So it actually looks like we may be getting a total fallback at this point. I could be wrong, but just from the movements of Seleucid, it does look like we may be getting a fallback all the way back here. Now, the problem with that is this right here. So if you're going to give up all of this, that means you're going to give up this, which means that this becomes extremely painful. So I'm interested to see what they do. We do have a bunch of Syracuse back here. Got Mercenary Veteran Hoplites, Hoplites, lots of Hoplites. Got a Pikeman, okay. Lots of Hoplites. A lot of Hoplites. This is the most Hoplites I've seen in a battle on Rome 2 in a really long time. Oh, and look, Macedon decided to bring in the rest of his army. It was standing back there for a long time, doing nothing. Archers shooting at some Eastern Spearmen. Great use of ammunition, guys. Thorax Sword fighting some Thorough Spears. Some more Thorough Spears on a tower. What are you going to do with it? Artillery still has done nothing. Interesting. I really still don't know why they didn't blow down the wall. Seleucid has decided to put in a little bit of fight. Now he's going to run away. It's a bad time to run away because he's got 2 thorough spears here that are just shooting him in the back. Ow. One more. 76 out of 160. He's got 89 kills. Now the question is Carthage going to hold this up here? Is he going to sacrifice himself to hold the upper cliffside, thus allowing the defenders more time to defend this? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. So as you can see, a little bit of a slowdown because basically you're getting a lot of falling back, a lot of troop movements, right? Readjustment of places where people are going and figuring out how they want to go about this attack. I really wish that we were seeing a little bit more of a proactive attack onto this point at least. You know, you can see they're coming over here, they're getting the tower and the gate, they're kind of like boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo, you know, but up over here, they're kind of, I mean, overall, they're just kind of taking their time. Hillman charging forward. They got javied in the face. Once again, great usage of ammunition. That Hillman just got fucking yeeted. Now the third spear's getting the taste of his own medicine. All the javies to the face. Look how many javies they're having their shields at this point. Come at me, bro. Ah, here the slingers up on the steps here. Oh, and nice shot. Good shot. Good call. Shooting right in the back of the thorax swords over here. Nice. Looks like Seleucid may be trying to move forward to deal with that. What I would do is I would move over here, though. I would put your archers right here, and then you should be able to shoot them for less, you know, risk of them getting back at you. Epirus has his archers up here as well. Remember, Macedon only brought 125 archers, so he doesn't have as much of an ability to kind of threaten this area. He could come over here and shoot into this if he wanted, but it would be risky because you got Seleucid's archers here, and you can't really fight them with a standard Macedonian archer. If you had a Cretan archer, you could, but not with just a standard archer. You can see Macedon just giving up the flank. He's moving his stuff over. Bounce Power is definitely in the attack, or the defender's favor at this point, excuse me. Carthage moving his Cretans up onto the cliff side. That's going to give him overwatch here. Arverni still just kind of going around, getting the points, so on and so forth.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know how it goes. Lord have mercy.
Let's get a look here. Whoop, whoop. Whoop. Oh well, this'll work. So we've got, now the problem is you're all stacked on top of each other, so what's ending up happening is that you're not getting really full volleys. You're kind of getting like a little bit of here, a little bit of there, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, instead of like everybody at once, woo, you know, and it does affect you because Seleucid looks to be getting much better shots than you. If I was Seleucid, I would move some of these away, but for the most part, they are in a better setup to shoot you. Another thing they could do is they could move their Royal Peltis up a little bit. They might be able to shoot that. He'd be close, though. He is just throwing Javi straight into the Thorax Sword. Royal Peltis are kind of cool. So majority of infantry, so like a Thorax Sword, they get 2 ammo for their Javies. You have Thorough Spears and units similar to them that get 5 Javies. Then you have Royal Peltis that are pretty much the only unit that get 3 Javies. And they have the Thuros ability, the Thuros Spear ability, where they can, you know, you could designate where they shoot. Yeah. Exactly. You guys get it. You see, most infantry, so like these chosen swords, they have javelins, but you can't, like, designate which person you want to jabby, right? You can bring your chosen sword, set it up right here, put it on fire at will, and it'll throw at something. And you can kind of sometimes, like, form them up in certain formations and ways that they will kind of mostly shoot at maybe what you want them to, but there's no guarantee. But things like your Thuros Spears, you can literally just be like, hey, shoot that. Hey, shoot that. You know, it gives you a little bit more ability to do those kinds of things. I think that the attackers they could have messed themselves up a little bit here by blowing that down, because they have no way off of that spot. They basically have to come back here. Now what they've done is they put their archers up here and they're shooting down to the flank, but what's happening is the Seleucid archers are then shooting back at them, as an enemy tends to do. Carthage! Carthage! Epirus, what are you doing, Carthage? Libyan infantry getting into the Cretan archers! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! I am a little surprised he only sent the one. If he had sent more, he could have kind of, like, pinned down some of these units while continuing to push with that one. You know what I mean? Now that this one's cut off, now the Oathsworn just kind of walks by him. They could have brought a couple of these units. What I would have done, actually, I would have used the Libyan infantry to pin down the opening. These two small units of, like, Gallic warriors and stuff, used them to push into the archers, because they're weaker. They can't take on the Samnites or the Oathsworn near as well, but the Libyan infantry could have at least held out a little bit, thus allowing more time for the smaller units to get into the archers, which they can beat. Seleucid coming in to help. Here they come. A lot of Seleucid hoplites are pretty beat up at this point. Royal Peltis doing okay. They've got 76 kills. No chevrons quite yet. They are getting hit by the archers of Syracuse, which is a good call by Syracuse. Royal Peltis are a very, very, very painful unit if you let them just do what they want. And yes, I know that any unit is painful if you let them do what they want, but what I mean by that is that Royal Peltis are very squishy. Okay, if you shoot them, things like that, they die, right? Pretty easy. If you don't, they will kill you very, very, very easily, okay? It's one of those units that in melee combat is very good, but they just don't like getting shot very much. Look at this guy, 206 kills already. The Gen not getting quite as good, and he's also still getting shot by Syracuse, but even now, if you're going to get shot, at least be in combat while it's happening, because then you're at least getting value out of the time you are there. He's getting shot by just standing there, not getting any kills anymore, which means he's gaining himself no more value out of this unit. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Carthage is falling back a little bit more here, giving up a little bit more space, but he is leaving some kind of token defense units here to buy more time. The more time they can buy, the longer they can hold onto this defense right here. As soon as they give this up, all of this goes away, which means they basically just have to fall back to here. Now, looking at that, that means you're basically stuck to this, 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 this. That's a lot. It's a lot of room to cover for the defenders. A lot of really big gaps that you have to use a lot of manpower to fill. So it's just not very feasible. Look at the Oathsworn, 292 with 2 chevrons. Carthaginian hoplites and mercenary Scutari are not going to win this fight. Now, with the archer fire and everything, that, you know, obviously can change, but normally, in a normal situation, Oathsworn wins this. Scutari did a little bit of a cycle out there. Good call. I think they're going to lose this area anyways. Look at this thorough spear from Epirus, actually snuck in and around. Seleucid did bring up a Thorax Sword to try and help. Royal Peltis are both now in combat. Now, the Thorough Spear is getting shot right into the back by the it's really annoyed Seleucid and Syracuse on the same team, but the Seleucid and the Syracuse archers are now basically shooting right into the backs and the sides of the Thorough Spears, with the Thorax Sword hitting it from the front. Defenders still have a decent chunk left. Carthage still has a decent chunk left. But Carthage is literally in time mode. He's just like, buy time, buy time, buy time. He knows he's not going to win this by himself, but he knows that he cannot give up this area. If he does, it's it could very well be GG. You know, I say could because obviously there's many things that can happen here, but it will definitely make the life of the rest of the defenders extremely difficult. Sorry, I took my hand off the mouse and keyboard there for a minute. Trying to pop my back. I'm getting old. I'm an old man. Now the Macedonian general, or fucking general, Jesus Christ. The Macedonian artillery, there's no way you're out of ammo. With 8 kills? What the hell were you shooting? That's what I want to know. I don't want to believe it. Like, he has no... The problem is he had nothing loaded into it either, which usually means you're out of ammo. Macedon's basically the only person with really much of anything left. Epirus just is out. He's gone. He just got put down by all that archer fire. Once again, Royal Peltis super squishy. Rome here is pretty much kaput. You know, he has left Legionary Cohort, Legionaries. The Aravaki General coming in, he's going to hit that. He's probably going to hit that. Then he's probably going to hit that. All of this, kaput, gone, finito. Yeah. And you know what? Maybe he lets Rome keep fighting. He might come down here and do that. Forwards! He could also do that afterwards. Nope, he turned around. He's going for Rome. Either way, they're all good options. 237 kills on the general. 243 now. The noble cavalry for Aravaki is a pretty damn good heavy melee cav. Very heavy melee cav. He does, most of those kills, as you can see, were not super high quality because he's had 255 and not even quite 2 chevrons. Macedon joining the attack now. Thorough Spears going in. He's also pushing the breaches next to the gate. Got 2 Thorax Swords going in. A lot of fire coming in from the Syrian archers. Got Seleucid Thorax Swords going in. He is using formation attack, which means you can see that's keeping those lines super crisp. And it looks like Seleucid is actually doing the same thing. General 317, 320, 323. Killing the Scorpion should probably give him a chevron, honestly. Now, if the companion cav came up here, he would smack that general. 344, not even quite 2 chevrons yet. He's backing off, backing away from the Thorax Swords. I think that's the right call. Thorax Swords might be going for a Javi toss here. No go, no dice. It is basically down to Macedon, ladies and gentlemen, and that means we are, pretty much over here. I don't really see Macedon pulling this one out, unfortunately, especially given that Carthage and Ervaki's general are basically poised to pounce on the back end of Macedon's main attack. Over here's not going super hot. It's really not going anywhere, to be perfectly honest with you. Got a Thorax here just getting shot and killed for nothing. If you're going to be here, you might as well go up and go get some kills or something. You could climb the tower, sneak over here, and make them chase you. Here we go. Macedonian general said, "Enough is enough." And Ervaki's general said, "You're right. It's enough, and I'm leaving." Companion cav, good cavalry. Very heavy shock cav. Okay, here we go. There we go. Now you gotta remember the Ervaki general is hurt. So the companion cavalry general is probably going to win this. He got 11 kills on the charge. 12. It's got 76 charge bonus. Ervaki's general getting out. Carthage's units coming in. That's where the companion general wants to get the hell out of Dodge. So you can see the companion cav general got 16 kills. The Ervaki general didn't get 16 kills. You can see when he was in combat, the companion cav general only had lost like one man, but the presence of the infantry coming in and then the cav leaving that combat is where he lost men. And all of that kind of back and forth, that's going to cause the companion cav gen to probably lose now. Especially because he just got caught flat-footed, which means he didn't get that charge bonus up against that noble cav. So the noble cav is basically getting in to this combat under his terms. Melee cav does better in the long-term combat, while shock cav is a cycle. You want to take him out, charge him back in, take him out, charge him back in. Yeah, so I think the companion cav gen is going to lose that now due to the assistance there. And once the companion cav general is gone, Macedon's probably going to break here. It's probably going to kick in the army losses, and that's going to be GG.
Advance at speed!
He is going to try and get out of this. Ervaki actually pulled out of the combat. Interesting. Not sure exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to sneak past here. I guess go for the archers is the only thing I could think. There are thorough spears nearby.
Make the charge!
Just kind of looking around, scoping this out. Companion cav general seems to be alive. Carthage has a unit right here that he could just charge right into that companion cav gen and probably kill it. Noble cavalry general probably going to break 400. Not probably, almost guaranteed. Yep, there it is. And there's your army losses. All right. Basically, it's just the general, and that's probably going to be the only thing left. Just fast forwarding here. I don't know if if they're just missing the general there, but that is GG. All right, let's go look at some kills real quick. So starting off as Syracuse, we have the Brit. As Syracuse, like I said, 1,128 kills. He's got a lot of stuff left, though. He honestly, he held a lot there in the early game, but then a lot of his troops didn't really fight a whole lot late game. Eye exams as Seleucus with 1,953. Three of his archers did really well. His infantry did solid, did pretty good. Dairy farmer here as Ervaki, 3,445 kills. A lot. And honestly, a lot of it came down due to the fact that the attackers continue to just send token forces to try and defeat him, and it just doesn't work that way. And that basically allowed him to commit all of his army to beat a little bit of them. Joe 231 as Carthage 2,141 kills. Archers did really, really well. And honestly, as a whole, pretty much did pretty good there. For the attackers, we have Tan Hobgoblin. That was the name. I apologize. 2,244 kills as Arverni. With his Oathsworn did really well. Let's see. Honestly, overall, his infantry all did pretty solid. I think he probably... I think he bet... I bet you he wishes he brought all 4 Gallic Hunters, though. Game Boys as Macedon. Rough time. I don't really fully understand the plan that was had there, but basically what ended up happening was by the time he decided to commit his forces, all of his allies were dead. So he basically just was overwhelmed and surrounded and killed. That's honestly the most I've got to say about it. Tamraval, I'm not sure, as Rome with 1,819 kills. I mean, he's Rome, right? 1,819 kills it's fine. I definitely would have wanted to see a little bit better. I think that had he not just kind of thrown in kind of those token forces and fed them into Aravaki, I think he has a little bit better kill count here. We've got Elamelans as Epirus with 1,979 kills. All in all, did really well. His one row peltis did really well. One of his archers did. His infantry, for the most part, did pretty solid. But yeah, that is going to be it for today's battle. Thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget that if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys next time.